Valentine's Day is about love, about connection, and about finding someone who makes you feel human. But what happens when the love of your life is murdered in front of you? Did Frank Castle ever truly love again? Or did the Punisher bury that part of himself forever? Because here's the truth. Frank Castle has been with other women. He's had relationships, he's had intimacy, and he's even had moments that look like love. But none of them were Maria. And that changes everything. Today, we're breaking down the Punisher's complicated love life and why, no matter who he's with, he can never really move on. Before we talk about anyone else, we need to understand something. Maria isn't just his dead wife. She is the dividing line between Frank Castle and the Punisher. When Maria dies, Frank doesn't just lose a partner. He loses domestic peace, emotional softness, a future, a reason to grow, and every woman who comes after her exists in the shadow of that trauma. After Maria, most of Frank's relationships are tied to operations, undercover work, shared enemies, temporary alliances. Women like Wild Rose, Vicky White, Reiko, and Alice Hoffman crossed paths with him during missions. Sometimes intimacy was part of maintaining a cover. Sometimes it was shared revenge. And sometimes it was just two damaged people crossing paths. But these weren't romances. They were functional. With Wild Rose, the Punisher meets her on a mission where he poses as a known terrorist called Saracen, and she poses as a courtesan. As they were infiltrating a terrorist convention to maintain their covers, they sleep with each other before planting a bomb at that same convention. With Vicky, the Punisher goes after Reverend Sammy Smith, and while being undercover, he meets Vicky, who convinces herself that she would make the Rev happy if she slept with Frank. The Punisher obliges because it would help him insulate his disguise, and he would get closer to getting to the Rev. She was simply a pawn in a chess game. With Reiko, what makes her different is that she can see past his disguise as James Maxwell, and that she instantly recognizes that he is the Punisher. They share a target and they share a romantic night together. Then they share a mutual understanding, a truce with the Assassin's Guild, but a strategic alignment, not a romantic one. Even when there's chemistry, Frank makes sure that he keeps emotional distance. Now, Alice Hoffman, a movie star that became a radical humanitarian with a group called Humans Off Planet, they team up together to take down an international socialist to make a difference in millions of people's lives. They succeed with their mission, they enjoy each other intimately, and then they just go their separate ways. Then there were women like Angela. Angela rescued him, patched him up, and slept with him, then tried to convince him to change. But it was all manipulation, a trap because she was working for a criminal operation known as the Trust. When Frank discovers the betrayal, he is clearly saddened, disappointed, and pinned by the insurmountable weight of betrayal. When he finally catches her, he walks away while she's hanging over a bridge instead of saving her. That tells you everything. The Punisher doesn't wallow in pain. He compartmentalizes and reverts to mission mode. Rosalie Carbone was different as well. She was a Mafia princess that was drawn to him, well, more so obsessed with the character he portrayed, Johnny Tower. But when things turned violent and that she put a $5 million bounty on his head, as they always do around Frank, it ended the only way it ever can, with someone falling. Only this time for Rosalie, it wasn't in love. Frank Castle doesn't build a life with women tied to crime. Now, some women understand him on a professional level. These weren't innocent bystanders, and they weren't trying to fix him because they lived in violence too. Take Kathryn O'Brien, for example, a CIA operative who might be the closest thing Frank has to something stable after Maria. She sees the world the way Frank does, in that she was betrayed and left for dead. They fight together, sleep together, and they don't make promises, and that's exactly why it works. There's comfort in knowing neither of them expects a future. Now we could talk about Lynn Michaels, an NYPD officer and SHIELD operative. She doesn't just admire Frank, she adopts his methods and even becomes who we know as Lady Punisher. She understands the mission, but even with ideological alignment and her conveying her love for Frank by kissing him after saving her life, he keeps his distance. He doesn't invite anyone into the emotional space Maria once occupied. That room stays locked. Painkiller Jane is another. She possesses regenerative abilities and was drawn to Frank in a way that borders on obsession. She can survive physically in his world, and she could take the damage because she is practically indestructible. But emotionally, Frank never gives her more than fragments. He tolerates her affection, and he never leans into it, and that tells you everything about that relationship. Then there's Elektra. Elektra represents something else. She doesn't just tolerate lethal force, she embraces it. When she eliminates targets before Frank can pull the trigger, it frustrates him, but it also draws him in. For once, he's not the only one willing to cross the line without hesitation. Their relationship is intense and physical, but it's not romantic in the traditional sense. It's chemistry born from shared brutality. And just like every other connection in Frank's life, it doesn't last, because there's no room for building anything permanent. Now, there are a couple of women that connected with him due to experiencing similar tragedies. One person that comes to mind is Suspiria. Suspiria experienced a double whammy of having her husband shot and killed and her child kidnapped, and the only way that her child would be released is if Suspiria succeeded in killing the targets that were given to her. This is where she runs into the Punisher, and she fails her first attempt at killing him. They meet again on different terms, becoming an item and expressing the traumas that they've shared in the most intimate way. Then we have Jenny Cesare, a bona fide killer in that she takes out her sister and Mafia wives effortlessly while sporting the Punisher's costume. She had it rough in that her sister and Mafia wives arranged a marriage with her and a wife beater, but when Jenny couldn't take it anymore and threatened to expose the Mafia family activities, her sister and her husband's thugs attempted to take her out by throwing her in front of a train. As what was mentioned earlier, she gets revenge by taking out the Mafia wives, but she couldn't take it anymore. After she sleeps with the Punisher with an attempt to feel something, she succumbs to the numb feeling and deletes herself right on top of Frank. Lastly, one of the most revealing moments comes in the story Return to Big Nothing. This is where Frank visits a prostitute. He makes a request to turn the lights off, not because he's shy, but because in the dark, they all feel like Maria. And that's the tragedy. He isn't replacing her, he's pretending instead of healing, and he's managing grief the only way he knows how, which is to temporarily shut it down. In conclusion, the Punisher is not incapable of intimacy, he's incapable of permanence. Love requires vulnerability, trust, hope for a future. But Frank doesn't believe in a future. He believes in war. Every relationship he enters is either a temporary alliance, a physical release, a shared mission, or a dangerous distraction. Maria remains the emotional anchor of his life. Not because he refuses to move on, but because the version of Frank Castle who could love like that died with her. So did the Punisher ever love again? Well, he connected, he slept with women, he fought beside them, and he even cared about some of them. But love, real love, that belongs to a man named Frank Castle, a man who no longer exists. The Punisher doesn't fall in love, he remembers. And sometimes, in the dark, he pretends. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to punch the like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Oh, and to all of those who have someone to spend Valentine's Day with, if you love them or really care for them, be sure to let them know and hold them close. Because as we all know, the Punisher would literally kill to have that type of luxury that some of us may take for granted. The Punisher Mythos is out.